On today's show, we sit down with the founders of one of the largest Black organizations dedicated to economically empowering and sustaining African American communities through entrepreneurial development. And later, nearly a year after being closed for renovations, the West End Library reopens its doors. I'm Commissioner Natalie Hall, and the district is next. Welcome to the district. I'm Fulton County Commissioner Natalie Hall. Despite decades of policies, programs, and outstanding achievements by African American men and women, the continued discussion of entrepreneurship remains important to the growth and promotion of Black economic development. My guests today are the founder and co-founder of one of the primary organizations dedicated to economic empowerment and sustaining African American communities through entrepreneurship and capitalistic activity within the United States and via interaction with the Black diaspora. The National Black Chamber of Commerce promotes self-empowerment through a series of education and training forums, providing direct resources to support the development of startups and established minority-owned businesses. Harry C. Alford is president and CEO, and Mrs. Kay Debow is the co-founder and vice president of the National Black Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Harry Alford and Ms. Kay Debow, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
So tell us about the National Black Chamber of Commerce and what led the founding of the organization.
Well, Kay was in politics. We were living in Indianapolis, Indiana, and she worked for the Evan Bayh for Governor's campaign. They won, and they were given some jobs to fill. One was Deputy Commissioner of Minority Business Development. This person was to see that at least 5% of all procurements went to minority businesses within the state of Indiana from the state procurement office. And she looked at the requirements and said, that's my husband. And she took my bio to her committee, and they selected me to be Deputy Commissioner for Minority Business Development. The governor wanted me to hit up to 5%, that 5% goal, because they were only at 1%. Actually, it's 0.6%. And he wanted that done within 4 years, his term. And I took some management skills, put them together, created a strategic plan, did my mission, and after 18 months, we were over 6% and became a little local hero. A lot of Black business people were now making some serious money with the state of Indiana. And they got a little worried about that, the political aspects of it. And they wanted me to lower my budget and just be cool. And that's when I said, I've found a way to do this, and nobody's going to stop me. So Kay and I got together and came up with the idea, why don't we just go independent and be held accountable only to God in the minority businesses we were trying to serve.
That is phenomenal. And Kay, what did it feel like to be the catalyst behind this organization?
It felt like the slopes were slippery. And we just stuck together, we held hands, and we just kept moving forward. It was just one step in front of the other. And it was exciting because we could see our accomplishments while we were in Indiana. We could count the numbers and see that we were increasing contracts with Black businesses. And it was exciting. And we felt so passionate about it, and we did it together.
Yes, yes. And among what cities have been the best for Black business development?
By far, Atlanta.
Really?
Oh yeah, Washington, D.C., the great Marion Barry. He made it real. Yes. Chicago under Harold Washington. Yes. Of course, you had Maynard Jackson here. Yes. Cleveland had Mayor White. And Mayor Dinkins in New York. They were leaders and chargers. And they said it wasn't going to be business as usual. They created a lot of millionaires and thousands upon thousands of jobs.
Yes, indeed. They certainly did. Those are some phenomenal names. Tell us about the Small Business Administration and that program that you have.
Sure, the 8A program.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a business development program The late, great Perrin J. Mitchell wrote that program when he was chair of the Small Business Committee on Capitol Hill. And what that does, it takes a SBA agent, link them by the hips with a minority business, and they go out and find contracts to procure. They set aside certain contracts for 8A businesses only. So the only people you're competing against are other 8A firms. And usually it's a rule of three. I had 3 8A firms compete for a contract. And the 8A program has made more black millionaires than all the other programs in the federal government combined.
Nice. Are there geographical trends in black chamber development?
Yes, there are.
Yes.
Yeah, well, certainly where there's black individuals and businesses starting, but you look at the geography, the southeastern part of the country, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Florida, that's where most of the growth is. The Midwest would be second. And then as you go west, the numbers start declining.
And why is that? Do you have any idea why that it trends that way?
I'm on the board of directors for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Same demographics for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. More business-oriented east of the Mississippi, manufacturing, and that legacy of the Industrial Revolution. The West is kind of, wide open movies and tourism,
film,
what have you.
Entertainment, fashion.
Right.
Creative industry stuff. Let's take a break. When we come back, more from CEO and President Harry Alford and co-founder and Vice President Kay Debow. Stay with us. Welcome back. We've been talking to CEO and President Harry Alford and co-founder and Vice President Kay Debow of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, discussing the importance of black economic development and entrepreneurship. Tell us, what are some of the biggest obstacles facing black business today?
Access to capital and just straight out discrimination and predatory practices of larger businesses that see little businesses as someone just trying to get the plate from my table, and they try to crush them. So we, as advocates, intercede, protect, and point out the wrongs, and talk truth to power.
Good. Well, who are some of your heroes among elected officials who have advocated on behalf of black business?
Well, I was mentored by Perrin J. Mitchell, who I mentioned earlier. Arthur A. Fletcher, the father of affirmative action, he tutored me for about 8 straight years, and he served as our chairman of our board. And those two had a lasting impression on me. And I've studied Booker T. Washington, and those are my heroes.
Oh, good. Do you have any heroes in this black business space that have helped you along the way?
My hero is my father, and he was among the first 4 Tuskegee Airmen, and he was courageous, and he flew under bridges and dropped bombs, and he taught me courage, and he taught me that I could go anywhere and do whatever I wanted to do, and that's what I've done.
That's good. My father is like that too. He instilled in me that regardless of being a female, I could do anything that I wanted to do in life, so I understand that. Thank you, Ms. Debow. The conference theme this year is economic empowerment through entrepreneurial pursuits. What is the mission of this 27th annual conference that's being held in our Auburn Avenue Research Library this year?
To economically empower African American communities in the United States and throughout the African diaspora through entrepreneurship.
What type of speakers and panels did you have at the conference?
Well, we had some very exciting panels. We had a dynamic panel about women's empowerment, and we talked about the business of film and the business of fashion, and we had a fashion show with handmade items from Senegal. And we had a CEO roundtable, and we talked about tech and artificial intelligence and privacy issues, because we need to talk about that. We need to learn more about that, and cybersecurity.
Yes.
And we had a film screening of Revival, Harry Lennox's gospel musical. And we also we had black caterers, and we went to black restaurants, and we just had the full Atlanta experience.
Yes.
We look forward to coming back.
Oh, I'm looking forward to you coming back as well. And what did you choose? Why did you choose Atlanta as a venue for the 27th annual conference?
It wasn't the first time. This is our fourth trip to Atlanta in the 27 years. They've all been great. Mm-hmm. And 5 years ago, Kay and I got together and said, we're tired of spending our money with the big Hiltons and the Marriotts of the world and the convention centers. If we do conferences, the money's going to stay in the black community. So we just went to the basics and are choosing cities that have an ample supply and quality of black caterers, hotels, restaurants, and the like.
Yes, and in Fulton County, we have a very good sense of community, and our Auburn Avenue Research Library is the best location for exactly what you're doing.
It's perfect.
I'm so thankful that you chose us.
Yeah.
And we thank you for making that happen for us.
Oh, no problem at all. Go ahead.
I think that we should add, I don't think we've said that Harry and I have been married for 38 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we started the chamber together.
That's a serious partnership.
Yes.
To be married and to be partners in business and serving the people, you're a really dynamic couple.
And it was the strength.
Yes.
It was the strength that provided the cover for our vision. And we have babies that are actually 35 now, 34 now.
No, they're not babies anymore.
And they're entrepreneurs.
And I believe you told me that they're in business as well.
Right,
Entrepreneurs.
they're entrepreneurs. They both have their MBAs, and they don't like working for people. They keep impressing me with the things they come up with and innovate. And when they were going to college at the same time, being twins, I was telling them that they're really hurting us financially. They started their own company. It's called the Cross Playground. It was an online company. They got it up to speed, got it working, and then they sold it, took the money, and paid for their own tuition.
Oh, wow.
That's
How old were they then?
Oh, they were in their 20s back then.
In their 20s?
They're 35 now.
See, that's a testament to what you're doing as far as small business and the development of that. It shows in your own children.
Right.
Yes.
And it's the way that young people have to go. They've got to go, they've got to know tech, and they've got to know STEM, because otherwise our workforce will just be depleted.
That's correct.
We've got to teach them new things.
Yes. So how can people get involved in your organization and stay updated on what you're doing?
Kay is the contact info.
They can go to nationalbcc.org, nationalbcc.org, and there's just a wealth of information up there.
Great. Well, Harry and Kay, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. The conference took place right here in Fulton County at the Auburn Avenue Research Library on African American culture and history, located at 101 Auburn Avenue Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, July 24th through Saturday, July 27th. Stay with us. We will be right back. As a result of overwhelming constituent concerns and feedback received at community meetings, the Fulton County Public Library closed the doors of the West End Library on August 21, 2018 for extensive renovations. 10 months later, I had the pleasure of attending the grand opening for the newly renovated West End Library. The newest features of this library include private meeting areas with projectors and video conference capabilities, a new teen and children's area, new public computers, enhanced Wi-Fi, self-checkout kiosks, digital signage, light fixtures, furniture, carpet, and artwork by local artists as part of the county's effort to designate 1% of bond funds for public art. Although renovations are complete, we want to continue to hear from you on how we can work together to improve our libraries. So for more information on library openings and renovations near you, please visit afpls.org. And finally, though we are no longer in the month of June, it is important to note June is recognized as LGBTQ Pride Month, a month-long celebration in honor of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community members. According to the Library of Congress, June is chosen to represent the 1969 Stonewall riots in New York, during which the LGBTQ community held demonstrations to protest anti-LGBTQ raids at the Stonewall Inn. I wanted to again share that with a vote of 4-0, the Fulton County Board of Commissioners passed the resolution I introduced to officially recognize June as Pride Month in Fulton County. This is a huge accomplishment for the 4.5% of Georgia residents who identify as LGBTQ members. Majority of those who reside right here in Fulton County, the state's first most populous county. I'm proud to continue my commitment to being an ally to our LGBTQ neighbors, and I look forward to celebrating Pride Month in Fulton County for years to come. That's our show for today, and a special thanks to our guests for joining us, and a special thanks to you for watching. Feel free to contact our District 4 office anytime by calling 404-612-8226 or emailing us at district4@fultoncountyga.gov, and be sure to connect with us at FullCoD4 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Until we meet again, I'm your District 4 Commissioner, Natalie Hall.